Well, good evening. My name is Tracy Potter. I'm running for the United States Senate. This is our grillside chat, the first of a series of them that will continue every Sunday night through Election Day. I'm a state senator here in Bismarck. I'm running for the United States Senate to replace Byron L. Dorgan. It's tough for anybody to replace him. He's been a great U.S. Senator. He's a progressive, prairie populist in the tradition of the Nonpartisan League, where the slogan was social and economic justice for all, special privilege for none. Those are my principles as well. Those are Senator Dorgan's. I want to introduce myself to you. Each week we're going to talk about an issue. Today we'll talk a little bit about the filibuster, but first I want to give you some background in who I am. And that is, I'm the child of two working parents, product of the public education system of North Dakota, which is an excellent one. I graduated from Grand Forks Central and went to the University of North Dakota. Kind of on the 19-year plan to get my master's degree in history. It took a while. I worked as a dishwasher, I worked as a gas station manager, I worked as a construction worker, I worked in the state insurance department as a life and health analyst, I worked as a school teacher, a high school history teacher and basketball coach. Then I finally got my master's, and I've since fallen in with the heritage tourism crowd. And I worked for the state tourism office for half a dozen years, traveling all over North Dakota, seeing every corner of the state, finding out what was fun, and then writing about it, telling people about it. In more recent years, the last 16 years, I've been the executive director of the Fort Abraham Lincoln Foundation, which is a nonprofit foundation dedicated to heritage tourism. We tell the story of Custer and the 7th Cavalry and the Mandan Indian people who lived along the Missouri in those hundreds of years ago and still do, of course, today. The filibuster that I want to talk about is this. The issue is this. The filibuster stops progress. It stops government in its tracks. It foils the will of the majority. And in a democracy, the majority must rule. Even when we don't like the majority, it has the responsibility to govern, and the minority has the responsibility to challenge it and then to allow votes to take place. Just this week, a 56-40 vote prevented doctors from receiving the appropriate pay for their treatment of Medicare patients. They're taking a 21% cut. What will happen is that the government will eventually give them the money, but it'll require more paperwork on both the part of government and of the doctors. Unemployment compensation benefits being cut off. At a time of recession, when we need to continue to allow people to have resources, to spend money, to keep the economy going, they're going to cut off this thing. This is on a 56-40 vote. 56-40 is a landslide in politics. It's completely inappropriate. The filibuster is not something that's in law. It's not in the Constitution. It's simply in the rules of the Senate. And I will change those rules. I will vote to change those rules. I will be a filibuster buster, no matter which party is in power, and this is what separates me from my opponent. His campaign team says that you must take the filibuster on a case-by-case basis. Well, you know what that means. That when the Republicans are in power, they're against the filibuster. When they're out of power, they're in favor of it. Well, if something's fair, it's fair all the time. I am opposed to the filibuster all the time, and will vote with the Republicans to overturn the filibuster if the Democrats try to use it. I will vote with the Democrats to overturn the filibuster if the Republicans try to use it. I'm against it all the time. And in fact, we need to change the rules of the Senate to eliminate it. Anyway, each Sunday night we'll have this kind of a discussion, maybe in more depth than you can have in a 30-second commercial. Tell you more about me and about my campaign and about our positions on war and peace and the economy and oil development and flood control and all the issues that are out there. And for that, thank you very much for coming. Tracy Potter.